You know, when I come across shows these days, it's almost sometimes that you end up going to a vegetable market. Every single place that you go, the vendor has come with full josh, made a fantastic product. But because there's so much out there, it's so difficult to know what really works. Here with me, Salil, and this is one show, when the first part came out, I have binged watched rarely, right? Because it's almost like, you know, you watch a little bit, then you leave, and then you come back. But I have to put it out there. 1, 2 binge watching. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Once again, it's just so difficult to keep an Indian audience hooked. I've got a fantastic star cast, and this, of course, is the heavyweights of the OTT division. Let's put it this way. Tilottama, Shefali, Rasika, thank you so much for joining me. And of course, Sanuj, my first time that I'm meeting you. How are you doing, buddy?
Good, doing well.
You know, were you carrying the world and the mountain of expectations on yourself when you come into this setup?
In a sense, yes, you know, but I have a great team. I have great producers and writers and directors, and I'm the director, but great actors.
Others.
I'm inheriting so much that, yes, there's pressure, but we share the load, you know?
You know, so the thing is, you know, these days it's so difficult to get something working.
Yeah.
You know, and audience, I wouldn't say the attention span is limited, but there's just so much more to watch. So, you know, the common thing is to see what's trending. You go up there first, you'll see a little bit, then maybe you'll read a little bit more. So when you come in there, you know, one was an eye-opener to how easy it could be. You know, their performances were fantastic, but it's not just that. It's just that, you know, it was about something that people sort of knew, and then you walked into that narrative. This is not something that you know, or this is a general idea. So in that sense, this was different. But otherwise, when you walk in there, was it, you know, it's a different setup that you're walking into as a director. Did you carry forward from there saying that, you know, I'm going to keep the basics and structure there and then weave myself in?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you're given a lot of options in this situation, right? Like, I could do a new crime and do a new cast that's actually relevant to that. But the most beautiful thing that we got from season 1, you know, outside of this, you know, examination of a horrible event was this cast of characters, this team, this crime team. And I think people fell in love with this crime team. So bringing that crime team forward was the first, you know, was the most important thing. And then the show has a language, it has a style to it. It has a very, like, single take, long take documentary style. And to learn that language and build on that language, that was something that's very important to me, carrying the style forward.
This style that he's talking about, Shefali, ma'am, this is, it just never looked like there's a camera. It almost looks like you're in a room, about 17 cameras all over, capture anything that you feel like. It's the in-between shots. It's putting the phone down and thinking, not just saying the dialogues. That always impresses me, you know, that the amount of effort that has probably gone in by each actor themselves, you know. It's not all spontaneous. It's all thought out as well. In your case, you know, you're so easy on the eye as a performer. But there again, it's a different kind of setup for you also. You know, Indians are not used to watching female cops. And if they watch the male cops also, it's more comedy rather than seriousness. So that way, one succeeded fantastically well. So when you carry this forward, this must be like super exciting for you to carry this forward as well, right?
Super exciting. I love Delhi Crime and I love Vartika. At the same time, you know, one of the things you said, Salil, is that it's planned. It's not planned in my case.
Achha.
Never. I mean, like, I don't know how to plan a moment. I don't. It just happens. At that moment, I don't know what I've done. Most of the times, and Tanuj can vouch for it, actually, all the directors...
It doesn't say cut, basically. He just lets it roll then.
I let it roll.
Yeah. I
let it roll.
Yeah. And so it's like, it's flowing. But then once you've become so much of that character, I think I was just doing what Vartika would do. You know, it wasn't Shefali making a conscious choice of doing what Vartika would do. Let me think it through. So it's not like that. Also, Delhi Crime 1 and Vartika became unprecedented.
Yeah.
I did not expect it. So when Delhi Crime 2 was happening, of course, there's a lot of excitement, but there is this fear because what I do comes from spontaneity.
And you got to replicate it.
I was like, I can't fit those shoes anymore. They just became bigger.
Yeah.
And Tabhi I just kar liya. It was the first time you were seeing her. But every human being with every situation, every 5 minutes changes.
Yeah.
At the same time, the core remains the same. So I was thinking, how do I match up to what happened there? you know.
You have. So it's not like you need to also. But I'll say, I think because it is so much you, and the subject matter is so icky. Even one was icky. And anyway speaking, whenever you think of Delhi, I'm to spend the first 20 years of my life in Delhi. The second word of your show is that city, unfortunately. I've spent the majority of my life there. 20 years here, if you say Bombay, the show will be Bombay safe. Because it will end up being that if you had to compare it, because it is so true, and that's the reality of it was so awesome. Which is why, now, aapko jo promotion mila hai, so congratulations on that.
Thank you, yeah.
But you've been one of the torch bearers also of how easy acting can be portrayed without being over the top in OTT. So I have to congratulate you on your. Thank you so much. It's so difficult for so many people to actually make the switch. You guys are making the switch so easy. The process, I have to ask you about your process before about the show. What is it? Are you somebody who like read up a lot and do a million takes behind the scenes so that you just crack it there when you go on screen?
I don't know. Tanuj is staring at me because you said million takes and he's dying to get up from his chair and say yes. Because I love doing extra takes.
One more. Just one more.
Yeah, I'm that person who begs for an extra take every time because I just feel that, there's so many people trying to make something, right? And the end of the day, it's that time between action and cut that we've all worked towards. So why not just try it once more? Because I feel that sometimes when we've got a good take, it's like everybody's aspirations have been fulfilled and now there's scope for magic, so we can have one more which can be magical. So that's and I love doing extra take. There's a million ways in which a moment can be played out, right? And
can you end up doing too much?
As in, too much?
If you do like 7 or 8 takes of them, you lose perspective beyond a point of time?
It's great to lose perspective because then something else emerges from there, So there's nothing like a perfect take and you can go on and on.
So he probably has 3, 4 and 5 also, enough footage for that.
She gives a lot of perfect takes, I have to say, be honest with you.
And can you imagine now that I think of it, how adverse are we?
Yeah, I'm dealing with different actors.
So he must be like really terrified that from Rasika's way, I have to switch to Shefali's way, which is totally ulta.
But this is home ground for you. So I don't think I've ever come across this. Tilotma, you and him, if I was just reading Wikipedia, the amount of work that you all have done together is incredible. So, the amount of trust that you both have over each other also must be very high. So was that an easy fit? The entry into a setup, let's put it that way. The familiarity, of course, is there because you know the actors off screen. But professionally also, it's like a cricket match. When you're making a debut in a T20 league, nationally you're very well known. But when you come in the new league, was that 1 or 2 days where you're out there with your best foot forward?
I'm nodding because I don't follow any of the cricket metaphors.
No, it's new for you, let's put it that way. But why? You understand the idea, right? You're already a gladiator somewhere.
Right.
But यहाँ पे आके नयापन दिखा with the new cast that I have been hired for a reason.
See, for me, that reason was Tanuj.
Yeah.
He really had faith in it. And then I auditioned and hopefully won the faith of the powers to be who decide. But I trusted him immensely because when we worked, our first film, Adil Hussain, me and Tanuj, Adil had a big van. And that was our shooting vehicle. So Adil would come pick me up, then pick Tanuj up, and then we would go to Ghaziabad and shoot. And so we really did it with this, with our bootstraps. And we created opportunities for each other where I really want to play this kind of part. Yeah, I want to do a sci-fi. Let's do it. This opportunity has come up. And so I think that sense of collaboration, that sense of... I got your back and let's do more and let's grow together, and I think that is really beautiful. And for it to span it's been 20 years and to have that kind of faith and trust in each other's abilities and push each other to be like, come on.
You've seen her grow in stature as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because in height that stopped in class 7. That's the only.
It must be wonderful as a friend also to see when you put your faith. It's like when you start off trying to make something, And then, when you sort of meet after many years, you've got a lovely little workography that is there. You must feel really proud also.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, I feel like some of the stuff I've done with Tilotama is actually way ahead of its time. We had a film we did in New York called Clap Clap, and it was Tilotama, Indian art star, and I paired her with Sung Kang, who is Fast and the Furious, Hollywood Korean-American star. Who's ever put those two people together in a film? I did this in 2006 and 2008, and it's online. You can watch it. But the thing about Tilotama is she's such an honest actor. She's always honest on camera, and that's what I'm really drawn to with her. There's never a false moment for her. And bringing her on this show is like an insurance policy. I know no matter what happens, I have this powerful performer who's going to give me something, who always delivers, always gives me something, always makes the audience feel. And just having that element starting out with, that's a big thing,
It's a win-win there. In your case, ma'am, you've got a different creator for the first one. The idea is set, the blueprint you have. You walk into 2 with the blueprint, and then there's a new creator that comes on board that is there. Is there a little give and take the first few days?
Oh,
sorry.
little?
Lots.
Look at Tanuj.
Give it.
It was a lot of give.
He used to go on and on and on about it. Also, I have to admit that both of them had their own respective blueprints. DC1 ka blueprint yahan nahi carry kar sakte the, besides the fact that yes, these are the characters. Yeah. Then it was his baby, and it was marriage of these characters and this entire thing that they put together. And the fact that I love the show, I want to be a part of it, I love Vartika, and that I wanted to work with him. I mean, this is the kind of give and take that would happen between 2 people who want to collaborate.
Correct.
Not just, I need you on board as an actor.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as that. I want somebody who can collaborate. I chewed his brains off. We could have finished this 3 years earlier if it wasn't for me doing all these. So, I think, it was a joke on set. So, no matter how much we would go over it, every day there was a new thing. And then I would walk on set, actually, and I'd be like, Tanuj, so one day Tanuj and David have left the set. The moment I said, okay, so whoosh, in stop block, they were gone. They were like, oh God, she's going to start again. Now she'll have some more point of view on this. There was a lot of...
I would read a scene and I would have 5 questions and I was like, wait, let me just wait. I know Shefali will come and ask all of those.
And plus more.
Let me keep quiet and look like the actor who agrees.
But beyond a point of time, sometimes it's very logical for an actor who's technically strong, who understands the part, to sort of like, does the world sort of merge with direction and acting? Specifically not the role, but in your head.
I can never see a project as a complete product until I see it on screen. Also, there was a lot of spontaneity in the way it's shot. I mean, David Bolan has to get credit for, he's a genius. Genius.
Really?
And just like you correctly said right in the beginning of the interview, it's like a camera was put in a room.
Yeah.
He's invisible. Like he'd be everywhere, and it just was, so that beauty comes with the fact that everyone's getting together to create this thing. I've totally forgotten your question. Just saying.
I said, will the lines merge when you're so
Actor,
aware?
director. No, but not
But when an actor says, I think.
No, I think in terms of, I have lots of thinking to do on terms of the script, etc. But how it's going to be shot? How is it going to be edited? Yeah. I can't see it. And it's not my business. In terms of, I will do everything to get this one right. I will chew his head apart, and that's what he also traumatized me. So we'll do all of it. But finally, I have the trust to give it all to him. अच्छा ये मैंने मेरा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू था, मैंने मेरे तरीके से किया, मैंने तुम्हारे तरीके से किया, अब इसका क्या होगा is in
Your
your
choice.
hands.
Yeah.
And I do not, at least I do not, a lot of actors may be able to see the entire film shot, like, in their mind, कि अच्छा ये ऐसे दिखने वाला है, I don't understand it.
Oh, I think that's his vision also. It works for that.
Yeah.
This is an interesting boxing match. Huh? Was it like this on set, Rasika?
No, nobody was wounded. There were no casualties. But we all...
And I'm telling you, I used to feel better when the whole team was there. Because otherwise it was Tanuj and me.
I think he also probably felt better when the whole team was there.
Yeah, like...
No, she's exaggerating. I feel like as much as she's saying there's tension, I
No, there's no tension.
There was a lot of ease.
Good tension.
It's called chemistry, guys.
There's a lot of ease
Yeah.
with Shefali.
My
Shefali's a
God.
dream to work with, in fact, and
Not a
every
nightmare,
director
it's a
wants,
dream.
I think good directors want input, want feedback. She has a sense of her character. She knows what Vartika is going to do more than I will. She has suggestions; those are important to take. I like the actors to have a lot of space to work. I can't control what they say, how they do it. They can't own their choices. That's really important. And you watch season 2, you see all-star, world-class performance by Shefali Shah. I think the world needs to know how good a performer, what she's done with this character, and how she's taken this character and investigated herself, investigated the police, investigated the criminal. I mean, she's done such a deep interrogation and has balanced so many points of view. I think the world needs to see this.
No, I think they are. I think the casting needs to be complimented once again.
Agreed.
Every single person, even a cycle wala, the whole point is the
Amazing.
casting. If you don't get the casting right, it doesn't matter how good your main cast is. I think kudos to your casting.
Casting was important for us, yeah.
Yeah, you've seen a transition of what works and what doesn't work on OTT, but on the day of a film, supposing the nerves on a Friday morning used to be there, that little old school sort of nerves were there. Now with so many of your shows coming out, would you feel any nerves at all?
No, I
na?
feel excitement. I feel nervous for the directors. Because, in film school we used to say, जब अच्छा होता है तो actor ने किया, जब बुरा हुआ तो director की गलती है. So actors have it easy in that department, I feel. And I'm always excited to see if the details that we've put into something have been noticed and have resonated with people, And sometimes people come to you with details that you hadn't thought of, and they've made their own connections. Like somebody beautifully said every audience comes with its own set of idiosyncrasies.
Of course.
So people watch things with their own experiences, with their own prejudices, with their own understanding and experience of life. And when it comes back to you, that's very beautiful. So I'm always curious and excited. Nervous, nahi. Nervousness is reserved for when I'm shooting. All of it is then.
Actually, it's more, y'all are the wrong crew to ask about nervousness because most of it is working. But on a general level these days, I think the audiences have become so demanding. Which is why at the box office we're having failures because the consumption is so high. I was speaking to Jaideep Alawat and he said, brother, जो 10 साल में होना चाहिए था वो 2 साल में हो गया. सब घर पे बैठ के जितना भी देखना था, सब देख लिया. Earlier, Indian cinema had an Achilles heel, which was Korean cinema and all. Nobody had seen it. Now, Korean, Afghan, Iranian, everything they've seen. So that's a slight issue that is coming now. So do you think, as an actor, it's slightly you're more under the cosh when the audience is watching? Har cheez perfect honi chahiye. Nahi to the criticism that they just come out with is so high, and you've seen it over a period of time how the audiences have developed. So now is this like when you're very happy to be an actor, or is it a little bit of a insecure time to also be an actor?
Insecure time to be an actor?
Yeah, because of judgment.
No, not at all. I think I feel far more secure now than I did, because it's a craft that you need to work on, and the more opportunities you get, the more mistakes you make, the quicker you learn. And when I started off, the opportunities were far and few.
Yeah.
And there were just some people who got very lucky.
Yeah.
But most people had to wait for a long time. It was a game of patience. It was like, but now there's so many opportunities that even if you're not happy with something that you did, the next one is, you don't have to wait for years.
Around the corner.
And I think that's also like, I remember once Rasika told me that, why do we take ourselves so seriously? And I think that in
I said that?
Yeah. It's, why do we take ourselves so seriously? Like, is my work good? Is it okay? Like, what if it's not? I mean, we are, we are quite self-critical, and I think if we don't like something, now an opportunity comes much sooner for us to fix that, And whereas earlier you had to just wait for so long, and you kind of felt like that's it. I had one chance and I blew it. It's a bit like shooting in film and going digital. Like when you shoot, when I started, the whole team had to get it right because we just get
Don't
to
wanna
what
waste
3
films.
takes.
Yeah.
You can't get more than 2 takes, and with a lens mag change, and then that's it. The shot has already been decided whether there is going to be a close-up at all. Then in a group of 15 people in a scene, there'll be a close-up only of Nasi's, let's say, monsoon wedding. Right? It was all decided because there's only so much stock. But in digital, there's more. So it gives you a chance to be like, yeah, I got that, but let me give my director another take for the edit, for a different choice.
Yes.
Excuse me.
The editor looks
So
at that.
it's nice to be able to do that. That makes you feel more secure. It also makes you more playful. And I think it also made me feel like it's okay to make mistakes.
I think it's working as far as audiences are concerned, but I'm just going to wind up here. But do you think actors now need to have a slightly thicker skin also, because so much content is coming out, like she said? Everyone's going to have opinions on a daily basis, which will change from a Friday, Monday, Tuesday afternoon, depending on the kind of food that you've eaten as well. I think now you just let it go. Okay, just switch off social media for a while, because I see it affecting a lot of people in the last 6 months.
But also, Salil, I feel that art is subjective. Whether it's a painting, it's a performance, it's a film, it's a book. Everyone's going to take something out of it which suits them.
Yeah.
Some people will like it, some people won't. I'm very critical of myself. Very rarely do I like my work. I always feel, oh my God, I fell short. So मतलब और कोई मुझे कितना criticize कर लेगा, I do it, I'm very equipped to taking it. And fair enough. People may like it, people may not like it. It's fine. But it's not like it's going to... See, there are certain people I value most. The audience, I mean, we do it for them. The love and appreciation I have today, I'm standing here or sitting here right now because of the love and appreciation and the trust of directors like this. But at the same time, there are so many people with so many point of views. How much can I change myself?
True.
And if people really don't like it, I'll just think of it. Let's look at it. It could be positive criticism also, na? I don't want to become thick-skinned.
Yeah.
I don't want to. My vulnerability is what works for me. So it'll work for me. But it doesn't mean I'm going to have sleepless nights, because I will get affected. I mean, obviously, I will get affected, but then I'll be like, theek hai.
And most people don't tell the truth anyway.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I'm so critical about
And
myself.
At a screening, yes.
When has she had to deal with really bad reviews of her work? So why are you asking her?
Like I said, you're like the wrong person.
Because I'll tell you later.
Yeah?
One review. Yeah.
But don't worry about those one-odd reviewers. A lot of people actually do it also to get virality online. It's the one that is not agreeing with everybody else's opinion is the one that everyone says, isne kya dekha jo hum nahi dekh paaye. But this is for sure that this is again going to go down the path of the part 1, which was unanimously liked. Thank you so much, guys, for joining
Thank
me.
you.
Such a short time, unfortunately, with 4 people, with so much I could have talked about. But thanks again for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.